All right, as always, start on time, end on time. Respect other people's time. If everyone can please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Those in uniform, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. May sit down, please. Thank you all for coming. September, beginning of school year. If you're like me, you had at least 40 things to do in the last 2 weeks. And I know I forgot half of them. So thank you so much for taking the time to come in. As of right now, we got all programs together, and that's great. At this time, we're going to talk about a few things that affect the entire district. And you've got folders, so you must have some awards. So come on up here. Everybody knows Mike, don't you? Say hi, Mike. Hi. Mike, say hello.
Hello.
Okay.
I have some awards, and people in the district have been very busy. We have Cub Scout Den Leader Award for Pack 1152, Vicki Sanders Johnson.
She's not here.
If not, someone from the unit can pick it.
But thank you for taking it.
We have National Summertime Pack Award, Pack 1106. I saw someone. Yes.
I'm representing them. It's back to school night, man.
Yes. We have Cub Master Award for Gregory Johnson.
Hey, I know him. But he's like, I'm very good on my chest. Give him another one.
Well, it was in the pile, so.
Yay! That's for your other shirt.
I got Pack 533 Cub Master Award for Reed Henry.
All right.
You want from that
Not
unit?
here, but I'll take it from you. Appreciate it.
We have Pack 1148 Michael Capel Scouters Training Award. I will put that in their box.
Very
See
good.
him? Tell him it's in his box. And we got Pack 1550. Jeff. Yes. Jeff Oliver. Pack trainer.
All right.
I just have one more announcement. I know I spoke to several of you all about coming and getting joint scouting night packets and information, and that will be here when Chris Goda, the JSC coordinator, arrives. And so we'll have that after the meeting. Please see me after the meeting.
Okie dokie. All right. Let's start with a couple quick things. Number one, we need to know as a district who your points of contact are. Be a Scout. How many of you know what the beascout.org site is? Come on, I hope for a few more hands than that, right? That is a locator, a unit locator, where you put your information that tells about your unit. You know, this is your advertisement capability. Someone says, you know what, I'm in Loudoun County and I want to join scouting. And here's my zip code. What units are around me? Hopefully you're in there because you want your unit to be saying, hey, we're there and we're great. Come see us. So, this kind of information needs to be filled out. There's information about that on the table to the far right side, almost before you walk into the kitchen. If you get into the kitchen, you've gone too far. It's right there. However, in addition to that, Ms. Peggy Durbin, our district director, also has a list with a lot of blank spaces on it. Those blank spaces have things like, oh, I don't know, where do you meet? When do you meet? What days do you meet? Yeah, those are pretty important things for people who want to find you and actually join scouting. That's the first questions they ask. Hey, when do they meet? I don't know. That's not a good answer. So, if we can make sure that we get this information filled out as soon as possible, that is great. Best way to do that, find Mike or Peggy or anybody with silver tabs, or truthfully anybody that's walking around looking like they know what they're doing, give them the information and we'll make sure we get it to them. Because that's important to have that information so that we can get all the boys, all the youth in this county that want to join scouting with the right units that are close by, convenient, and meets their family's needs. So don't forget that. We can't go with a lot of white spaces. How many of you have heard of the 2012 Fall Outdoor Expo at Cub Snyder? Wow, that's a lot less hands. Okay, well now all of you can say, I've heard of it. Here's what it is. It is truly an outdoor expo at Camp Snyder. It is for all programs. It is for Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Ventures. It is a lot like the Centennial celebration that occurred, gosh, it seems like it's been more than 12 months, but I guess it was only 12 months ago. That occurred where a series of units are showing scouting skills, and there's lots of opportunities for the boys, youth, truthfully, because venturing crews are also invited, to experience scouting skills, to be outdoors, shooting sports, climbing walls, I've heard it described as a scouting carnival. It sounds pretty cool to me.
Jamboree on the air.
Jamboree on the air. Yep, lots of opportunities. This information here, it's, is everybody got a copy of this, or is there's a pile of them back there, right? I think there is. If not, come see me. It's going to be at Camp Snyder. It's going to be October 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., so it's an all-day thing. Come for an hour, come for the day. I'm sure there are also going to be vendors, and there's going to be tons and tons of wonderful food that's probably not good for you, but sure tastes good. So make sure you come out for that. All programs, not just Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Ventures, everybody. What else have I got here? Scouting for food. There she is. Miss Stacy. No, please come down. Stacy is our district coordinator for Scouting for Food, and she is going to speak to you about Scouting for Food. Go.
Scouting for Food is November 3rd and 10th, and there is training this year. There's 2 trainings, one October 2nd here in Leesburg, we're not sure where yet, and October 18th at Ashburn at our Savior,
Savior's Way.
our Savior's Way, yes, church. In order to get your bags, you need to come to training. There's also over a little sign over there for Scouting for Food. There's also commitment cards. If you could write down, if you know your pack, your coordinator of Scouting for Food, and roughly how many bags you think you're going to need. And if you have any questions or anything, I will be around this evening.
Is there any change to the maps? What if a unit doesn't know what they look at? Where they're supposed to go?
The map is online. If you go down and you click on the Scouting for Food link, the map from last year is still up. Check your area. If you need to expand your area, there may be some changes to some of the areas as well this year because we have new packs coming on. So we might have to...
Everybody should check it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
everybody needs
Check it
to
early,
check
check
the
it out.
map. So if there's any questions or anything about the map, let me know.
Perfect. Thank you, Stacy. Man, I gave her more time than that. Now I feel bad. I kept saying, make it short, make it short. Well, thank you. That was perfect. Let's see. Anything else for the good of the group? Uh-oh, I got something. Oh, what do you want again?
But anyway, yes, I have an announcement from the Venturing Roundtable Commissioner, the Venture Forum Commissioner. Wave Andy. If you are interested in fly fishing, high adventure, venture patrols, and of course if you're an adventure crew, we are actually having a Venture Roundtable upstairs. In the green room, you'll see it on the right side of the room, green for venturing. If you're interested in anything I said, be fly fishing to venturing, and you might want to visit upstairs, that is an option, especially for your youth. Troops, you can bring your youth, and it is a youth event that you all can come to. We have a fly fisherman expert upstairs, so if anyone's interested in that, please go upstairs for that for this evening. Thank you.
Very good. Wait, don't go anywhere. Hey, Peggy, come up here too. Okay, everyone. Do you know who your professional scouters are that support you and provide incredible service? Here they are. Here's the faces. I don't know, but either way, both of them are incredible supportive to our district. If you need anything, these are the faces to look at. Obviously, you know, we can find other ways to help you if there's another volunteer, they just don't happen to be there at that moment, but they're almost always everywhere. So thank you so much for your support, but these are the faces to look for, our professional scouting support. Thank you. Anything else for the good of the district? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay. Well, Cub Scouts, you're in the right place. Everyone else, you seem to be lost. You got to go somewhere else. Thank you so much.
Don't have to go home.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Bob. Wait. Take it with you. Wait. Follow up.
Okay, for those of you in Cub Scouts, this is the 2 sheets for the units. No. This is the contact information. It's not crossed way on the back so I can actually read it. I don't try to do a little line and put your unit number down. What I'm really, really trying to find right now for everybody is I'm missing where you meet and the location. You know, the day of the week, like Tuesday, or Thursday, or whatever. Put that down. So if I want to come visit you, I go where you're and I get calls from our parents saying, I want to join. You know, what
Just let them link her.
I don't know. And then the next one I'll be asking is, when are you going to a lot of people? And it's like, I don't know.
Okay, I hope the folks that I still have left here are Cub Scouts, and those of you who are not, we can make sure we find you a Cub Scout job, not a problem. Just to reiterate what Peggy was saying, she is passing around a list of units in our district. In here are the ones that have the blank spots I was talking about. It lists your unit, it lists your chartering organization, no, it doesn't, emails. It talks about, take a look here and add information. She has requested that you not try to squeeze it into the super teeny tiny little lines, because let's face it, most of us, our handwriting will look atrocious in there. So if you're going to, mark and put your pack number on the back and enter the information so that we can get this information back as well as possible, and so we can actually update Be a Scout and get our boys to where they need to be as far as when they're looking for new units. The sheets are going to go by. Please just take a moment to glance over it. If everything's great, keep it on going. If there's something wrong or something incomplete, please fill it out. All right, Cub Scout leaders, welcome back to school. Welcome to the roller coaster that is Joint Scouting Night. First pack meeting, din meetings back on. The $4,000 worth of awards that the boys earned over the summer camp. The parents going, when are we going to go camping? I don't know. Who's going to plan it? It is the immersion in the cold water. I have been hit full face with this water, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, I don't have enough time. I have a pack meeting next week and Joint Scouting the night before. Bad planning by me. But this is what we got to do. This is what Cub Scouting is. Especially with the Joint Scouting Night Cup. Also, there's popcorn in there too. Hey! Welcome to Cub Scouts. Sell some popcorn. So, that's all together. We're going to talk about next month's core value. Responsibility. Now, if you ask most people about scouting, they give you patriotism, they give you camping and outdoors. Responsibility may not be the word they use, but typically it's similar to a word that they will use with a character or a good moral compass, or boys that are good, upstanding boys. That's from responsibility. The boys who have responsibility do what they say, stick with their promises, go out there and are the upstanding boys that they talk about. It's because of responsibility. And that comes from character. So let's talk about responsibility a little bit. Few things help an individual more than to place responsibility upon him and let him know that you trust him. This right here is the very, very, very hardest thing to do for an adult to a child. Son, I need you to do this. And then to let him go do it. It's almost impossible for most adults not to fall behind them. How you doing? Is that the right way? Oh, no, you should be doing this. Because we believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that they're going to do it wrong and that we need to guide them and direct them. Give them the opportunity to try it, because that trust is where their character comes from, and then they start to understand that I've just got the ability to, they trust me to do this. I have a responsibility. I'm taking ownership of what I'm doing. It's very hard. I fall down on this daily with my 3 boys, because I know them, and I know if I don't watch one of them, he's on top of the table deciding he can fly. I've got to watch these things, but I also need to trust them. And that's the hard part, because you love them to death, and you think you trust them, but if you follow right behind them, are you showing it to them? Probably not. I love Lord Baden-Powell. He always has a great quote. It is risky to order a boy not to do something. It immediately opens him to the adventure of doing it. You better believe it. You tell a boy not to do something, the first thing he thinks, I wonder why he said not to do that. This is probably pretty fun. We could go do this, we could do this. Yes. A boy is looking for an opportunity to go out and try an adventure. And if you tell him something, you shouldn't do it, especially like, whoa, no, it's a little dangerous. Ooh, dangerous, oh. That's exactly what they want to go do. And then finally, responsibility starts with trust. How many of us realize that leadership starts with trust too? Without trust, there is no leadership. It is just direction. You need to trust the person who has your best at heart. That they want the best for you and are looking for your success. That's a leader, not a manager. And so we're also teaching boys to be leaders, which means we have to work with trust. Back to the vision. I always show this because it's important to remember it. I love that we have a good, solid vision talking about every eligible youth as a participating citizen. But look at the word that's right before participating citizen. My finger there is responsible. Right there it is. Responsible participating citizen. And the aims of scouting: character development, citizenship training, personal fitness. Character development is directly related to responsibility. I would argue that citizenship training is also by responsibility, but it's not quite as A to B. So, okay, so why do I put these up every time? You know, I haven't asked this question before to you guys. Why do you think I put up the vision and the aims every single meeting? Yes, redundancy, exactly. I'm looking to boring. No.
Redundancy.
We've got to keep our focus. If you don't know what the vision is and what the aims are, how can you put on a program that makes sure you follow them? We need to know who we're serving, what's our measure of success, and how are we supposed to be presenting ourselves. We are to present ourselves as examples, as a demonstration to the boys of the right way to do things. If we don't remember the aims and the vision, how are we going to do that? We may put on a great program with the boys, have a ton of fun, but ultimately we still need to provide them the lesson that builds on character, participation in citizenship, and personal and physical fitness. Anybody new? Anybody got any new leaders or parents? Come on up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, come on up. Anybody else? No, you're not. You or where's your guys? So you get to come up here anyway. Yay, come on up. Only two? Anybody else? Next month I expect to have a lot. We have a lot of people who will sign up and join Scouting now. They're like, I'm new. What am I doing? You're coming up front. That's what you're doing. So, if you would be so kind, just introduce yourself to the group, just your name, what unit, and what your position is. I'd appreciate it.
Sure thing. Jim Powers, Pack 958 Codemaster.
Very good.
My name is Jay Runke. I'm with Pack 998. I'm currently a den leader and moving up to committee chair.
Committee chair. Moving away from the boys to the power, the true power seat.
Actually doing both.
Oh, well, then you're a sucker like the rest of us. Good. We'll give you 4 more hats later. Thank you so much. But you're not done. One of the joys of Cub Scouting is that, you know, everyone has their moment to shine, right? Typically, my way of showing the way to shine for most people isn't things that makes people the most uncomfortable. It's typically singing, yes. But Cub Scouting, you know, if you can't sing, sing louder. It doesn't matter. Truthfully, the boys like it the worse you sing anyway. If you were a great singer, they look at you, oh, that was boring. But if you're a really bad one, they think you're the funniest thing ever, and that you're probably doing it on purpose, even though you're really trying your best. So, this song right here is actually a neat one, the fact that it teaches the boys the 12 points of the Scout log. You see those 12 points? They're in red. Yes, you really can't miss them, right? Okay, everyone knows Yankee Doodle, right? Dun, dun, dun. You know, right? So, you're not going to sing by yourself, because that's just too embarrassing. You're just going to start us off. So everyone's going to join us. However, you can't sing sitting down. You have to stand up. Yes, I've had you sing all. Okay, ready? Give us the tune.
Trusty Tommy was a scout, loyal to his mother, helpful to the folks about and friendly to his brother, courteous to girls he knew, kind to his rabbit, obedient to his father too, and cheerful in his habits, thrifty saving for a need, brave but not a faker, clean in thought and word and deed, and reverent to his maker.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I wonder how old this song is, because there's not many boys out there who actually have a rabbit. But, you know, that's pretty cool. So, Cub Scout sign, everyone remembers that, right? It's 2 fingers all the way up. You know, it's not here, it's not the Boy Scout. The joke used to be it's so far up that if you're nervous, they know you're nervous. So, if everyone please stand and make the Cub Scout sign, we are going to start the Cub Scout promise. I, Brian Kale, promise to do my best, to do my duty, to God and my country, to help other people, and obey the law of the pack. Law of the pack? The Cub Scout follows the Kale. The Cub Scout helps the pack go. The pack helps the Cub Scout grow. The Cub Scout gives goodwill. 2, you may be seated. As I say every meeting, it's okay to have the words. It's okay that the boys may, truthfully they know a lot more than they realize. But it's okay to have it up there. Why? Because we want them to concentrate on the words, not the fact that, I don't remember the words, so I'm going to sit here and look at my feet and the dust that are on my toes and not be engaged. It's a promise. These are promises that the boys are making. It is an oath that they're making. Truthfully, I want the adults in your packs to do the same thing. The parents and the boys are, they provide everything for this boy. You are just the leader that's there to help them show them some scouting skills. But ultimately, their family is the biggest influence in their life on how their character will be developed. So, I want them to believe the same thing too. And hopefully they do. So have them repeat it too. And let's face it, they're never going to memorize it. So, have it on a poster. Have it on the wall and some, projection. Pass it out in a little sheet. If you're really adventurous, make it a little sheet and laminate it and say, and give bonus points for whoever brings it each time. I don't know. Find something fun about it. But have it available. It's okay to have it. It's not a crutch. It allows them to move forward and promise. Make their oath without being nervous about, I can't remember. So, the 12 core values of Cub Scouting. There they are. The way Roundtables are working, we go through each one each month and we try to show you the one for the next month because we realize that, truthfully, you're already in the middle of this month and if you haven't got it planned like me, you're just going to wing it. So, but hopefully you'll plan better for next month and here's how. So, October is responsibility. Try to find a way to leverage that. Try to find a way to weave in a common thread for the boys. They may not realize that they're being taught here, and there responsibility. That's good. Scouting is a game with a purpose. We're tricking them into learning stuff because school's not fun anymore. I don't want to go to school. We're still teaching them something in everything we do. So, responsibility. Responsibility is directly related to points of the Scout law. Helpful, trustworthy. Every single rank in Cub Scouts should see the correlation. It's important to explain it. You may have to explain it in different terms for a 6-year-old tiger than you will an 11-year-old Weebla who's about to make the bridge over to Boy Scouts. But hopefully you're expressing it to them the fact, you know what you're doing? You're getting ready for Boy Scouts. Because that excites them. And that's Cub Scouts' main job. Get them ready for Boy Scouts. That's what we want them to do. So, point it out to them. Point it out to their parents. They're excited too to see a continuation of the program. It shows them, hey, wait a minute, there is a plan. It's not you just showing up and doing some weird craft every other week. This is pretty cool. Give them an opportunity to see how these things tie together, and that as their son moves on to scouting from ages 11 through 18, he's going to be locking these down into his true character as he becomes a man and moves out of their house, hopefully at 18-ish, and goes out and gets a job in college, etc., right? And then maybe he comes back, he'll still have his characters, right? Responsibility. It's about being dependable, being counted on, doing what you say you're going to do. Cub Scouts, they understand this concept, maybe not in the words we say as adults, but they understand this, that we have certain responsibilities on them. Their chore may be to make their bed every morning. That's their responsibility. If it doesn't get done, there are consequences usually. Either loss of allowance, loss of privileges, mom and dad's stern look. Whatever it is, there's a consequence. Sometimes it's more severe than others. But so, give them an opportunity to see what responsibility means in all your events, whether it be campouts, whether it be projects, whether it be any other packed activities. If you have a den whose job it is to sing a song at your next pack meeting, that's their responsibility. And if they don't follow through, there is a dead air moment that your Cub Master's going to have to pull out Plan C and do something else, right? They understand these things. Give them the opportunities. Responsibility is about fulfilling to God, country, family, but most importantly to ourselves. We have a responsibility to ourselves to be the best person that we can be. To show the character that is inside ourselves and to be true to ourselves. Not to cave into peer pressure, not to do the easy things, to do the right thing. And we need to equip them with that as well. And don't forget, responsibility is also for the parents. Cub Scouting, all scouting, is a volunteer organization. The leaders in your pack are parents. The people who are helping you do other things are parents. Everyone should share equally in that load. Some don't believe that. Some will show up and go, hey, it's great. Thank you so much for your leadership and great. I'll just sit back here with my phone and this is great. No. Find them a little task. Even if it's a tiny little task, find them a little task, get them involved. Their son wants to see them involved. They want to see their parents with responsibility because they want to present that responsibility themselves. Look for opportunities to provide small tasks to every parent in your pack. Well, so we talked about all that, but what does a boy understand? Be dependable. You know, the thing of, if I promised you can do this tomorrow, you're going to hold me to it, right? Oh yeah. My sons will remind me 1,000 times, you promised. I'm like, did I really promise? And I'll think back like, man, I did. Okay, this is what we're doing, there we go. And I'm thinking, that was the dumbest promise ever, I got to write that down. Don't promise that again. But you follow through on it, because that was my responsibility. They have their responsibility. What does it mean to a boy? They need to finish their homework. As they get older, there's more and more, and for a 3rd, 4th, 5th grader, they think it's the end of the world. Oh my gosh, I gotta do this. It gets worse. They need to start learning some work ethic now. Taking care of their chores. Give them chores. Encourage the other parents in your pack to give them small tasks around the house that can be theirs, and they show ownership for it, and then they can show pride in their workmanship. Accept the consequences for action. And finally, take care of personal possessions. This is the big one in my house. Can't tell you the number of times I'm walking through my the den, and I'm looking down, and there's hundreds of dollars of electronics and stuff on the floor, and I'm just like, really? And I pick up a bag, and like, what are you doing? Well, it's going away. Like, what do you mean it's going away? You're going to throw it away? I'm not going to throw it away, but man, I got to make a game out of it. Nope, yeah, it's going away. They don't see that personal possession, so they don't understand the personal responsibility that should come from inside. Help them to see that in what you do in Cub Scouting. If there are small tasks that you can break out in your dens or your packs, do it. Give the boys each a responsibility. They will really blossom and take it to heart and will grow because of it. They may grumble a little bit at first, but truthfully, they will be proud of themselves after they complete it. Give them the opportunity. Make sure that when we're teaching skill sets, whether it be responsibility or whatever, that you got to think of it, how does a 6 or 11-year-old hear me right now? When I'm saying something to them, what are they hearing? First of all, am I living what I'm telling them? Number 2, am I using terminology and methods from their life that they can then immediately apply? And lastly, am I standing up there talking too much? Remember, it's a 5-minute rule of Cub Scouts. Anything greater than about 5 minutes and you lost them. So make sure you keep it short and get them up and do some activities. And then you can hit it again and do some more activities. Get them up and moving. Or else, the best message you have in the world, it could be the best ever that you put together. It's 6 minutes long, you had it for about 3.5 to 4 minutes, and then they tune you out. Make sure you're aware of this. So what do you do in the pack? One small task at a time. Every small task you give a Cub Scout is building responsibility. Trust that they're going to complete it, give them the necessary instructions, and equip them so that they will succeed. If you tell a tiger, I need you to plan a service project, it's going to be next week. You're setting them up for failure, right? If you tell a tiger, you know what I need for you to do? Can you hand out everybody a copy of this song we're going to sing in just a minute? Perfect. My Weebelows, I need you guys to plan a flag ceremony. Okay, we can do that. Because they've only seen about 1 billion of them, and they should be able to do that, right? Look for age-appropriate, one small task at a time. Whenever possible, let the boys lead. It's not Boy Scouts yet where the boys are truly leading the unit. But give them as many opportunities as possible to be the leader. And this is not a leader to laud over the rest of the boys. I'm in charge! It's actually a true, okay guys, we got to do this, and a coordinator, facilitator type of leadership role. And they'll naturally find that responsibility feels good when it's done. sense of teamwork, pride. They're a team. The den's a team. When they get to weeklos, you allow them to choose a patrol totem. Why? Greater teamwork and prepare them for Boy Scouts where the patrol method is exactly what they're going to go into, where it's patrol, pride, and activities. Little steps that you're building up to. And then finally, they got to be a little bit of stretch goals, but not the stretch to the breaking point goals. Remember their age group and assign them accordingly. So, and not trust. If you give them a job, trust that they're going to do it. Right? Hard. Hard as an adult. Really hard as an adult. But give them an opportunity. They'll surprise you. They'll surprise you because they will give it their all and they will do amazing things. All right, so let's talk EDGE on this. For those of you who have never seen EDGE before, EDGE is a training and leadership technique which is taught pretty extensively at Wood Badge. Wood Badge is a training course that is available to all Scout leaders that are fully trained in their position. That doesn't mean you've been in scouting for 25,000 years. That means you're just fully trained in your position. And you want to learn more skills, provide skills to increase your leadership capability and your training capability. Great course, I'll talk more about it later. But EDGE is a methodology of actually demonstrating out to the boys the right thing to go. You're explaining what's going on. Like for instance, give real life examples of what responsibility is. Use some for your life. Obviously they need to be at their level that they can understand, not that, I was working on this $14 billion project, building an enterprise. No, it needs to be where they can understand, obviously. Demonstrate, whether it be role play, skit, a game, these kind of things. And this one right here is an example of have each boy carry something and then all of a sudden they're trying to put them together to make one big pile. And then where one boy removes his block, where the rest are still holding it and then topples. Well, what happens? This boy did not fulfill his responsibility of helping the team, and see how the whole team suffered. It's to provide an aha moment, a visual. Finally, guide, give them some steps on a project or something, a craft or a game or whatever, and let them try it. You're there to guide them. Hey, have you thought about this? Leading questions to provide them a little more information. And then finally, this one I put down dinner, but it could go even into the much of giving them a responsibility of coming up with a service project, or coming up with a way to help the pack, or coming up with maybe helping out running a campfire, or any of this kind of thing. Dinner is already built into it because dinner is a methodology of Scout leadership position that's already built into the scouting method. Okay, so we'll talk about that also in a little bit. But there are plenty of opportunities to enable the boys. Allow them to make the choices, find their way. If they fail, that's okay. Scouting is a safe place to fail. We allow them to try again and give them a little help. It's like, hey, even better this time. We're building them up. Also, don't forget, in all of your ranks, you have a character connection section that's in there. The character connections are a series of questions and ways for leaders to help lead the boys into a discussion on each of these traits. Use them. Like I said, often, the first couple of years, I just skipped right through them. Oh, this is a lot of talking. I don't want to do a lot of talking. The boys don't want to talk. Use them. Allow them to be leading questions that are going to lead the boys to conversation. Once the pump is primed, you're going to have a hard time getting them to be quiet and actually move on to the next activity once they get going. You'll have the one or two comments or stories that will have absolutely nothing to do with what you're talking about, and that's okay. Because then they're being a team, they're communicating, and they're showing respect as far as listening to someone's story. These are all great opportunities. For responsibility, it can be as simple as, hey, what does responsibility mean to you? That's not a yes or no question. Make sure they're not yes or no questions or the grunt, those kind of things. Yes, are never going to be, what, do you have any chores? Do your parents have any chores for you at home? I have to do this, I have to weed the garden, Man, that's a lot of chores. I'm impressed. All of a sudden, you give them a sense of pride and ownership, and they start talking and start understanding responsibility. All these questions lead them towards that kind of capability. They're all leading questions. Use them. Use opportunities to find out more about their boys by showing interest in what they do and how they do things. They open up even more to want to be there, to want to do the program, to actually want to go out and do their best. Character connection helps them. All right, how many of you have used a dinner system? How many of you have never heard of a dinner ever, except for what happens after lunch? That's a problem. The dinner, it's funny, the dinner system has been around for a very, very, very long time. Matter of fact, I remember as a boy as a Cub Scout being a dinner. But I have remembrance of that time not doing a whole lot except wearing the cords on my shoulder. That's the only memory I have as a boy of being a dinner. And that's unfortunate because the dinner positions can be everything you make them. Okay? They're represented by these symbols of office. 1 cord for assistant dinner, 2 cords for dinner. And then after the boy has served his time, he can actually wear this yellow tab, just the tab without the cord, on his left shoulder as an indicator that he was a dinner. Pretty cool. Not too shabby. Boys like bling. Bling is good. So what does a dinner do? It is typically an elected temporary youth leader. Now, in your tigers, if you decide to use dinners and tigers, which tigers are okay to use, dinners are actually for all ranks, from tigers all the way up to Weeblos. Elections don't make any sense. The boys do not understand the election process. They really don't. And it's a lot of fun to try to explain it. A lot of fun. But they don't understand it, so it's better just to appoint them and let them roll them. You can get the slides later. Well, what do dinners do? They're learning about leadership and responsibility firsthand. Okay? They are, they're giving the boys a chance to lead and provide service to their den. Typically, it has to do more of, hey, Johnny, I need you to get everybody in a straight line. We're going to do a game. Okay. Everybody in a straight line on me right here. That's responsibility. It seems trivial to us as adults, but to the boys, that whole line leader thing is huge. I mean, it's like fights have broken over line leader stuff. It's sort of silly, but yeah. But it gives them an opportunity to be that leader. Hey, I need you to pass this information out, or can you get everybody a pen and make sure they know to put their name on this piece of paper? We give them small bits of responsibility. They don't have power to go, we're going to take that hill type power, but they do have information, and they are being presented as a temporary boy leader. It is a great program. Obviously, that position has absolutely no authority to exclude anybody in the den or to provide any kind of punishment or, anything like that. That's totally inappropriate. Yes?
I got a question.
Answer.
How frequently do you rotate the positions?
Depends on how many boys you have in your den. Typically, when I had a den at one point that had 20 boys in it. Way too many. Tried to split them up. Couldn't do it. And it was the bane of my existence. But what I did is I actually was rotating it every 2 months. And the boys would be either a dinner or assistant dinner, one time in the year, and we would cruise them through. Typically, though, a lot of times you find the assistant dinner is then promoted to the dinner, and you elect a new assistant dinner, so that they get hey, I've been an assistant to help out the leader, and now I am the leader. Sort of a grooming type thing, so to speak. If your den is like 6 to 8, you actually could do 3 or 4 months. If you know that you're going to have these boys from wolf, tiger, wolf, bear, and such, you could actually run dinner to where it's 6 months. And maybe you're the dinner, you're the wolf year, and next time, maybe you're the bear year, and it works out that way. Obviously, the responsibilities change slightly because they're age and maturity, but you could do it that way as well. You just want to make sure that it does not seem to be where it's a popularity thing. And you also want to make sure that it doesn't get to be where it's trivial and everyone forgets it's there. It sort of blends into the background, and it's a nothing part of your program. Yeah. So, yes, tiger, wolf, bear, weeblos, every single one of them have a dinner. Truthfully, I've seen very few people use the dinner system with tigers. Why? Because the tiger methodology is a partnership. Parent, son, one unit, and you're supposed to be using a co-op as far as who's leading the den. How many of us do that, right? Yeah, right. Anyway, this year I'm going to do it. I'm a tiger den leader again. I'm going to do it. Yeah, we'll see what I am 3 months from now. But because of that rotation, the dinner doesn't quite make as much sense. But if you can make it work, please use it. It's a great program. It's not for the parents to all of a sudden be the leader. but the boys themselves to still be, with some responsibilities. With taking attendance, I put everyone's name on a sheet and I laminated it with a grease pencil. And my dinner, here, take attendance. Again, mark who was there. And then I would have it and I could put it in my records for later. Very easy. The boys know everyone's name, hey, who's here, who's there? And they loved that. Plus they got to, it was like, oh, this is cool, grease pencils are neat. They don't see those very often. As far as refreshments, I don't know if you guys do refreshments at your den. I do not. I believe it is like death on a cracker. And I try not to do it because it's just a mess, and typically a late night den meeting just jazzes them up and parents look at you really meanly. But passing out refreshments, being well with those, leading a closing ceremony, even if it's leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Simple stuff, but it allows them to experience leadership, responsibility, being center stage. It's a great program. So, elections, always interesting. I've heard of some people who say if the election is repeated and the same boy gets elected again, it'll be the same boy. There are two schools of thought there. One, that you're teaching at, your vote does count. Number two, you're sometimes teaching that popularity is most important. You just got to play it by ear. You'll know you boys better than anybody. Know what's effective for them. All right, how about recruiter patch? Anybody here awarded a boy in your unit a recruiter patch? Hey, more than dinner. That's good. Yay, recruiting's good. Did you know that there are absolutely no formal requirements for a recruiter badge? I didn't know that. I thought for sure with the Boy Scouts of America and the guideline to absolutely everything there had to be a set of requirements. Nope. The requirements are buy the badge. That's not it. And it's up to you as a unit. Be consistent as a unit. Typically the patch is given to any boy who successfully brings in another scout to join the unit. Some units award it only if the boy signs up and becomes a member of the unit. Some will give the recruiter patch if did a good try, the boy showed up, came to a couple meetings, and didn't sign up. It's up to the unit. Just be consistent. Typically, the guide to uniforming, only one is worn at a time, so even if they bring in 1,000 boys, one patch. If you want to give them more, sure, why not? No, it should be one patch. And they can earn a patch for Cub Scouts, and then they can earn the patch again for Boy Scouts. They obviously would not transition the recruiter patch from Cub Scouts into Boy Scouts on their uniform. The only thing that transitions on the Boy Scout uniform from the Cub Scouts is the Arrow of Light and the youth religious knot. Those are the only two things. So, well, that doesn't count. That's everybody wears that. That's not an earned award. Let's see, anything on that? Nope. Okay, so there were a lot of things on responsibility to talk about. And I'm like, where do I go, where do I go? And I'm thinking with Joint Scouting Night, probably the best thing to talk about is recruiting new leaders. We don't need any new leaders. We got everybody we need. I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me that. Or gosh, I just, if I start recruiting new leaders, the ones I have now won't think that they're welcome anymore. No. Have you ever heard that one? No. But recruiting a new leaders is one of our weakest points as a scout group. I know my unit is. We thank our lucky stars every time we get an adult application filled out. It's like a time for a celebration, ticker tape parade. It's like, oh, it's like gold. It's like the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. Oh, look what I got. It shouldn't be that way. The unit runs on volunteers. And the volunteers are your parents. It's a pretty captured little group. Your boy in the pack? Great! You're eligible for leadership or some other type of responsibility. Well, I don't want to do that. That's okay. We'll find you something that will fit your personality and needs. Don't worry. And that should be true. It shouldn't just be a story. It should be true. Okay? So, the stronger the leader, the stronger your program will be. Absolutely. But ultimately, you've got to find some leaders. You've got to know how to recruit. So, did you know that the responsibility of selecting leaders is your unit committee and charter organization? Obviously you do. You have to have your charter organization representative sign on every single leader. How many of you have had to search them out and like, hey, I really need to meet you because I got some adult leaders. I know Joint Scouting Night was great. I had 4,000 Cub Scouts, but I've got some adult leaders I can't get signed. And you gotta go find them. The charter organization has a responsibility for making sure that you have a safe place to meet and approving your leadership. That's their main roles, approving their leadership. You know, the charter organization needs to be very much involved in the process. The vast majority of our units, they're not. My unit, no exception, they're not. I see them 2 weeks before recharters do. Drives me crazy because ultimately, I want us to be involved, but it's so hard. And you know, I've got so many other things going. And then I feel bad about myself for not pushing it harder to actually have a closer relationship. The charter organization started my pack 8 years ago, and they were very into it because most of the boys there, their fathers were in the charter organization. Those boys aren't there anymore. And all of a sudden, we're too into the world. Get to know your charter organization. It's important, especially with the recruitment of leaders. So, and also don't forget, your unit commissioner is invaluable here. Why, you say? Well, what the unit commissioner do? The unit commissioner is there to remind you of what the responsibilities are and to sort of point out, you know, you're a little weak on this little area here. Don't forget that you need 3 committee members. Oh, you know, you've got, all your dens only have 1 leader. There's no assistant den leaders anywhere. These kind of things. You know, when our program is running and we're worrying about getting from A to B, we may miss the big picture of, I need my 2 deep leadership. I need the ability to have a fallback in case my leader's sick, or they have to work late, or worse yet, they get transferred, or something else. Hey, guess what? Our Cub Master is leaving next week. That's like a death knell. Yes, sir.
There's also the online pack committee training.
Yes, there is.
Nobody should be winging it.
No, no one should be winging it. But we all do. So, how do you go about selecting? How do you get volunteers? Most of us go, we hope and pray that somebody will make one little slip up and say, hey, how can I help? Gotcha. That's like fly fishing. No, there we go. No, you know, yes, we all do that. Guilty. But that's not the way you should be picking your leaders. Okay. So, I love this and the fact that my pack does none of these steps. I felt really bad as I'm putting these slides together. Like, oh, don't do that one either. This is horrible. Do as I say, do as I do. Put together a small committee. That small committee should get together. They should have a list of everyone in the unit. And if you have any kind of descriptions of what they do for a living or anything you know about them, it helps you in choosing something. You know, if you're looking for a replacement treasurer, probably the person to choose is someone who has propensity for, you know, budgeting and organization. Right? If you are looking for a new Cub Master, probably need to look for someone who's a little gregarious and a little outgoing and likes to be out there and be a big kid. Probably not the person who likes to sit and doesn't want to be in front of anybody. Chances are they're not the best candidate for the job. But they may surprise you. They may grow out of it. You never know. But you have a committee that goes through things. You should list the qualification. The BSA lists the qualification for every single position in excruciating detail. Yes, they really do. Why do you need it? It's important because you need to know this is what the job is, and when you talk to somebody, you need to be very specific. Here's the job I'm asking you to do. Here are the responsibilities, and here's the time commitment. Be sure to put a number on the time commitment. It doesn't help you to sneak up on somebody and go, no, Cub Master, don't worry. I figure that it's going to be about an hour for the meeting and maybe 30 minutes worth of planning. Tops. Does that help you? After 1 month, they know you lied. And they're going to go, well, that was no fun at all, was it? Be honest. We want that to other people to us. Be that to other people. I'm constantly amazed by the number of parents when they come and help me with something going, wow, I didn't realize that took so much time. Yeah, imagine that. You know, this is how the sausage is made. You know, those of us wearing the brown shirts have a lot of times have seen, wow, that was really a lot of work. More hands helps that, but it's important to be honest about it. List the candidates. Put their names down. Don't just, I think so-and-so would be good. You know, so-and-so. You know, after the meeting is over and 5 names were mentioned, but nothing was written down, what did we say? Who did we say? Did we say Bob? Yeah, Bob. No, Bob. You know, and that comes down to writing it down, and one of the reasons you also write it down is because it gives an opportunity to say, why did we write that person down? How do they fit the qualifications in our opinion? Okay? Complete pack roster is invaluable at this point. I've got several parents in my pack that for the life of me, I cannot remember their names. They're great adults and they're always there to help, but for the life of me, for some reason I have this mental block and I cannot remember their name. I feel horrible to the point I'm going to buy them back. Here's your name tag, because you have been such a great help, Bob. You know, I know my limitations. I know my site. You're great. But, you know, have the pack roster. Know it. You know, and truthfully, both mom and dad, and maybe grandma, grandpa, any of the family members are fair game. If they bring little Timmy to the meeting, fair game. They should be in the list of potential people to talk to. All right. You know, what did I get here? You should start prioritizing this list when you choose a certain position. If I'm choosing a Cub Master and I find 4 guys, or I should say guys, 4 people, I put them down and I go, of these 4, who do we think is the absolutely best qualified for the position? Not necessarily who do we think will be the first one to accept the position, but who's the most qualified? Do it that way because you never know. Until I say, will you do that, I'm actually making you say, no, I will not. You know, and you never know. A lot of people just want to be asked. They actually go, you know what, I can do that. I can do that well. But they're not willing to step forward and say, I'll do it. But if you ask them, all of a sudden they'll take the reins and they'll run with that and they'll be the best ever. So prioritize by that, not by who you think will say yes, but who's the most qualified. At this point, the committee and the charter organization should be involved. We're going to approach so-and-so for this position. Okay, we agree. We believe that person is probably a good fit. We have no reason to believe that they would not fit the qualifications and also the moral code and character that we insist upon for our unit. Man. What else? Call a prospect. Give him a call. Yeah? And go see them. I love this. It says, send 3 folks to talk to them. Yeah, it's like an intervention. Bob, we love you very much. We've noticed something. You know, it's to be there. You want to show that the pack is serious. It's not just a general, hey, you know what, would be good. You'd be a great comment. I think you should do this. It's a serious conversation. You don't want to make it a browbeating session. That's not the purpose here. But one of the, if you notice here, one of the people that's on this list is someone who knows the candidate or has influence with them. Someone that maybe they trust or they do things outside of scouting with. You know, I put your name on this list because I know you. You can do this. Also, this is not listed on here, but make sure the spouse, if there is one of the candidates, involved in the conversation too. There's nothing worse than going, hey, you'd be a great Cub Master. Yeah, I'd love to do that. You just what? And all of a sudden, well, we have this, and this, and you don't have time for that. Oh yeah, you're right. You don't have time for that at all. Make sure there's buy-in, or else that solves your disappointments for later. When you approach, make sure you're upfront and ask for the sale. We want you to be the troop committee chairman, or the pack committee chairman when Jim steps down. Okay? I think I can do that. Good. Here's our responsibilities, and we're thinking we should start getting you trained now, and with a transition to this time. Be specific, ask for the sale. If they say, well, I need to think about it, that's okay too. But put a timeline on it. Okay, yeah, that's great. Well, can we re-approach this in 2 weeks and lock it down? Either yes or no. Yeah. They should expect that, and it's fair to ask for it. It can't be an open-ended, well, let me think about it, and a month turns into 2, turns into 3, and all of a sudden, you're desperate. And if they end up saying no, and you have no other prospects, you're done. Ultimately, if they say yes, great. Get them trained immediately. YPT, get online, all these kind of things. Announce to the pack who they are, what they're going to be doing, and lock it down. You know. And finally, they complete an application. Make sure that's in your hot little hand. Get the COR to sign it, and turn it in to one of our professional scouters. If they say no, move on to the next prospect. Do not ever come up to somebody and go, you know what? You're our last hope. You are so our last hope right now. We've talked to 15 people, and they all said no. What do you think? Well, let me think. I feel really bad because obviously I'm number 16 on the list, and okay. Yeah, because they're going to really be energized to help you out. Powwow. Those of you who want to powwow, if you're interested in recruiting, go to Bill Mayo's class on 7 Easy Steps to Successful Recruiting. It is probably the best training I've ever taken, bar none, besides Woodbatch. This is an amazing prospect, and truthfully, I've also got a sign-up sheet here. Before you leave tonight, if you want a copy of his information here, I'd be happy to give it to you, but I still say you should go to the class. It is full of so many gems on the recruiting methodology, how to recruit adults, and why they leave. It's important to know that, too. Great opportunity. But this is what recruiting is. It's not fun. Some people think that. I think it's one of these necessary evils I have to do. But you know what? Some of the leaders that I have right now that, pain and suffering, and I suffer through recruiting, are some of my best friends. I didn't know them before Scotty. They're also the people that I can rely on no matter what. These are some incredibly reliable people. And I can call them up and last minute, I have this. No problem, I'm there for you. So all of a sudden, your social network of good friends expands. And you all have the same vision, and you all want to do the best for the boys. It's a great opportunity. Give other leaders, other parents in your pack that opportunity to experience some of the joy that you do when you lead the boys and they have that light bulb moment. Don't view it as, oh, I got to trick them into it. You're giving them a great opportunity. Yeah, that sounds like a sales pitch on that, but it really is a great opportunity. Being a scout leader, I have spent some of the best times of my life over the last 6 years. 7 years. Holy cow. 7 years. I've had a great time, and I will continue to have a great time. Give other people the opportunity as well. Don't do it all yourself. So, remember, every position needs to be 2D, not just because of YPT. A parent can be your second person for a YPT coverage. Okay, so it's not just for youth protection, which is incredibly important. Don't let me make you think that's not. However, you need the ability to cover in case a leader can't make it to a meeting or something happens. There's something that's always happening in life. I mean, there's always, an illness, or, oh, my kids are sick tonight, or my wife is out of town, or, my husband is doing this, or whatever. These kind of things are always happening. If you only have one leader, what are you going to do? Cancel the meeting? Sorry, boys, we can't have a den meeting tonight, because I'm going to be out of town. What does it tell the boys? It's telling the boys that, unfortunately, they're not quite as important as a lot of other things in their life. You want them to believe that they're they're important, and that you're making time out of your schedule, and you're demonstrating the importance of what it means to make a promise and be responsible. Okay? So, den leaders, every one of them should have an assistant. Every single one of them. Committee member. You should have a committee member that is capable of stepping into the committee chair if required. Including to the fact that your PAC should probably have in their bylaws, if you have bylaws, the fact that there is a second, authority that if the committee chairman is not present, this person can make decisions. If your committee chair disappears off the face of the earth for 6 months and no one else can make a decision, you're lost. Cub master. Better have an assistant. First of all, they need it for all the stuff they do. Plus, it's really cool to have a tag team type thing for programming. Now, the boys are not listening to the same guy all the time. It's the same stick, all the time. Hey, it's nice to have something else, a little bit of change. But it's also important to have one in training, because let's face it, most of the times in a Cub Scout world, there's an expiration date on every single leader. The expiration date would be the crossover point of your youngest son. My expiration date is still 8 years away. God help me. So,
Thank you, Brian.
My youngest son will be starting Tigers in 2 years. Yay! It'll be amazing. Now, at that point, it'll be really cool, and hopefully I'll have it down by then. I'll have those Tiger parents actually doing stuff. Who knows? But, it's important to have that Cub master in training. You never know when, that life just gets in the way. And the guy's like, I just don't have the time now. Or I'm burnt out. Or I'm just not, I don't feel it right now. It's important to have that ability to, it's almost like a vacation or a sabbatical type of thing. Have it. Treasurer, secretary, other critical committee members better have an understudy. You better have someone else with signature authority, like the treasurer does for checks and deposits and such. They disappear, something happens to them. What are you gonna do? And then lastly, balloon. Make sure you have multiples. If you go camping, you have one balloon member, and that balloon member has to leave. They get called from work, they get sick, whatever the case may be. They cut their finger when they do it, using the wheel and chip correctly, something crazy. The whole pack has to get up. They gotta leave. Can't stay camping. Don't do that. Middle of the night, hey kids, let's pack up. We all gotta go now. Why? Well, because Mr. Smith has to leave. Not a good thing to be. Have more than one. It's an easy thing to do. But look at these successions. They're important. All right. So are you guys a Ziploc pack? What's that mean? Do you give out your awards in those Ziploc baggies? No? Who gives off the Ziploc baggies? Be honest now. We do it a lot too. We do. And I hate it because every time I think, you could have done so much more. But I had this to do. Because I don't have enough succession training. I don't have enough other leaders that are stepping out and doing other things. I need to provide more small tasks to more parents. See, I need to do what I say, not what I do. So, are you as a matter of fact, here I am over on the side here. Little baggie. Tell you what, right after summer camp, it's like 40 pounds of stuff. And it's in lots of little baggies. And I'm reading them off, and near the very end, I'm making a game out of the fact that I'm reading 4,000 things for each point. Anyway, to the point we're out of breath and on the floor. So I'm at least trying to make it a little fun. But it's still a Ziploc bag. Right? Or, are you like these guys here? I mean, up above, basically this was the previous Cub Master Pack 71, and for our blue and gold, he made out of a colander this thought-reading hat. And it was connected to a big box. And he put on the boy and go, think about something you've always wanted. And the boy's like, dirt bike. No, scouting. And eventually it was for the rank, and the ranks were inside those balloons. The boys got them out of the machine, and then once 3 or 4 of them had it, stomp. The boys trying to stomp a balloon, tons of laughter, fun, lots of smiles. Perfect. It takes time and planning. It doesn't just happen. You can't just show them, go, you know what we're going to do? Hi, investment chair, I haven't seen you all a month, and you're going to hand me like 4,000 things. I'm going to miraculously make something cool out of it by planning. And there's where most of us fall down. So, what can you do? Here's some examples. Because, I can talk all day about this, but you need something. What can I do? I love this one. I'm going to try this one probably about 2 months. I don't have enough time at my next pack meeting next week to get this right, but shoot your awards in balloons. Tie a string with some cut straws, have the balloons, have the awards tied to it. You let go of the balloon, it goes down, and I'm going to have a space station for each rank. And the boys walk up to the space station for their rank, and their awards are going to come to them. Cool. I mean, the boys are going to be like, that's awesome. And I'm going to think it's pretty awesome too. At least I feel like try it. See, I won't do it for this month because the awards weigh so much and probably would cause the string to go. But after this month, it'd be great. Or maybe take the awards to the other side of a frisbee. Now, I read this one, I thought, ooh, that one sounds like danger written all over it. But maybe that's why the boys would love it. I thought, I may try it. I don't know yet. This one I may try with my sons and see how badly they hurt me with it. And then we'll figure out whether it's a fun move or not.
Paper airplanes would work.
Paper airplanes. I even saw someone where they put them inside wiffle balls, or the kind of balls that snap together, and you roll them to them, and then they get them out and they roll them back to you. And I thought, that's cool. Until they would, one of the kids whips it up there and hits you in the side of the head, and you get these whole things in your face. It'd be great. So, or maybe, I love this one, pot a dead tree or branch. And it's like, dead tree or branch. But it's interesting in the fact that it's cool with the conservation theme. All the awards are like leaves. And it gives from a distance, it looks more like a tree. And as you're slowly plucking off each one, it's their awards to get the tree. Very cool. One year, I put awards inside of a dinosaur egg with paper mache. Could we say that was so much work that I couldn't stand myself? But you know what, the boys love it. We need to do that again. That will never happen until I take a blow to the head. Forget about it. That was that much work. Wow. I love this one. Place the awards in pinata. Let the boys take a swing at it. Woo! That's an outdoor event right there, boy. And also helmets. Bring a football helmet or some baseball batting helmets. Because wow, we'll be using our scouting insurance for that one. Hide the awards around the room. Cool. I like that one. I thought even it would be interesting if you could do like if you do a special award type thing where you on a Saturday maybe geocache. Cool. Great opportunities. Obviously, if your meeting is Thursday night and it's dark outside, probably not the best time to do that. But gold nugget exchange, dish them out of a pot just a chef. I'm going to use that one. I've got a one of those creepy smoke machines. Have all in there with a big spoon, and you bring them out. Sounds pretty cool. That'll work. Fire them from catapults. I'm like, wow. Obviously, these a lot of these examples probably are fraught with tons of bad stories that go along with it. I like this one. Have someone come in, special delivery, dressed as a delivery guy. Even better yet, if this person can ride a unicycle. Hey, carnival prizes, neat. Magic, you bet. Inside the wolf balls, there you go. There were just tons of, I was looking through like, as many things as you could think of, they were there. And a lot of them were really cool, but every single one of them took planning and more than a couple of days before the event to make it happen. But what the end result was, is all the boys had tons of fun, big smiles, and would constantly come up to you for the next 6 months. When are we going to do that again? When are we going to do that again? And that's a sign that, check, great meeting. If your boys are coming up and asking you to do something at a meeting that you did before, perfect. The previous Cub Master, for me, his thing was inventions. And his inventions would always go horribly awry. And something terrible would happen to all the leaders, typically me. So, but the boys like, what are we going to invent this time? As a matter of fact, when I became Cub Master, what are you going to invent? That's not my thing. So, and my thing is different. But come up with something that's fun. Anything that has opportunities. I think it'd be cool to have the boys, maybe you have the awards in a box and there's a rope to it, and you toss to it and they pull the rope out. There's all kinds of things to be done here. Tons of opportunities. Think of options other than Ziploc bag. Okay, joint scouting night. If you haven't thought about it by now, boy, you're late. It's next week, next Wednesday. Hopefully your flyers have all gone to school and will be in the folders this week. It is Wednesday, September 19th, 7 o'clock. It's important to have your boys wear their uniforms to school or their packed t-shirts to remind people. Put your signs up outside the school, probably usually no more than a day in advance because typically the schools don't want you having much more than that. If it's available and your HOAs allow it, put the signs in the neighborhoods that you service. Obviously be cognizant and sensitive to, some of them have rules, you can't have them out for more than 2 days, these kind of things. We want to not be a nuisance, but we want everyone to know. My pack, this year I use QR codes. The QR code takes them to my Facebook, to our pack's Facebook page with information. I put several of those around the school where a parent can just go click. Oh, look at that, Pack 71. Cool stuff. And there are plenty of places on the web that creates free QR codes. Put in the URL or whatever, you copy it, you paste it to whatever. Matter of fact, even the flyer that goes home with the kids tomorrow, the Thursday folder in my school, has a QR code on it, and the parents go, huh? Because everyone sees a QR code and wants to click it, because it's still pretty cool. What's that? Ooh, that's pretty. So these kind of opportunities. Make sure that you have an activity for the boys when you have joint scouting night. They will not sit still for what you need to tell the parents. It's great to have us all together. Start with a Pledge of Allegiance, maybe show a video of your pack in action type situation, that kind of thing. But then split them off. Have a couple leaders to came and do stuff. My pack will be doing the rain gutter regatta. Tons of fun. And they get to take home a wooden boat. It's a great investment. So make sure you're ready. Have your activities in your mind, plenty of leaders present to answer all the questions. After joint scouting night, this just in, these are the drop-off points. This is in the Chris's fourth joint scouting night newsletter. Matter of fact, I've got it in 2 of those stand-up acrylic things over there on the table right beside the Scouting for Food display. So in case we go on, you didn't catch the dates inside, not the dates, but the locations. There will be folks to accept your applications, verify everything's filled out correctly, take the check for the new members, that kind of thing at these points. If you have any questions, Mike Perry is a great point of contact to ask questions, or Chris Goda, whose information is at the top of this as well, chrisgoda@gmail.com. Do a great job, showing enthusiasm, answer their questions. Once again, hiding anything from a parent is just asking for trouble. No, if you have a dues, tell them you have a due. You know, that's just it. Our pack has a dues. It takes money to run it. You know, we're not trying to make a profit, but I've got to be upfront with you. But I also tell them, you know, if you can't make it, if the dues are the only reason you're not joining Cub Scouting, talk to me, and we'll make it work. You know, you want to, but you need to be upfront. This is the time commitment. This is the way it is. The pack is a built-up pack, etc., etc. Be upfront. Let them know what's going on. Parents will make a good decision, especially if you give them all the information. Popcorn! Yay! Popcorn, we're actually in the popcorn season. We're in it. Popcorn, anything from August 1st sold to November 30th counts towards the awards for the boys. That's great. Make sure that you have got your boys out there, but they're safe. Make sure they're doing safe activities in this regard. If it's a show and sell, make sure you have remind them of the safety aspects of being on a curb and near traffic and a parking lot. Make sure if you're going door-to-door salesman that they're taking a parent or another adult with them, and they're not going out in pitch black without a flashlight or whatever the case may be. No amount of popcorn, no amount of money is worth the safety of even a single scout. Make sure they're aware and they think about the safety aspect. Weeblozerie! There's a box right there that says Weeblozerie drop-off. If you have any registrations for Weeblozerie drop-off, I want to accept them right there. Obviously, just like we always do, even though I think it's supposed to be due today, we'll still take them if you get bored. Bring them on. Weeblozerie, great opportunity. Weeblos 1 and 2 to come out, have a camping experience, work with Boy Scout troops as they show different scouting skills and show what a boy-led troop is. I and several others teach courses for the parents, like welcome to Weeblos, it's different than bears, or you're getting ready to Boy Scouts, what does it mean? And they do a campfire afterwards, and then a foiled dinner, tons of fun, good stuff.
I have a question.
Yes, question.
Can you go to the Weeblozerie, attend the campfire, and not spend the night?
Yes, you may. Of course you may. We want you there. Whether they expand on that. Whether or not they sleep or not, even if they don't stay for the campfire, even if they leave before the campfire, going out there, experiencing everything that's going on with the troops, and having fun with other Weeblos and seeing what scouting is like on the other side of the bridge, have them come out there. Encourage them to come. As a matter of fact, the fee structure is broken down by, you're going to stay there for the day with no dinner, and then I would sleep overnight, if I remember correctly. So there's lots of opportunities. And that's September 22nd to 23rd, so that's coming up fast.
Question.
Yes?
Is there a itinerary for the Weeblozerie? Like what time each event is going to take place?
Well, there's really no solid event. Once it opens up in the morning, it's an all-day thing with troops showing information and such, and there's a quick lunch break in the middle. I want to say that it officially starts up at 9.
9:30 is flag opening.
9:30 flag opening.
10 o'clock to noon, you roam around the camp. We have archery, BB guns, slingshots, ready band, cooking, knife safety, and knots, and we have 6 troops coming out. And then 12 to 1 is lunch, 1 to 4 is activity, 4:30 to I think 6:30 is dinner, then we go on a campfire.
There you go. Thanks, Dave. All right, district dinner. District dinner is September 28th. Still can come. I'm the MC. Come on out. Be great. Now, the district dinner is an opportunity for us to recognize the outstanding leaders of all our units. Hopefully, your units have nominated 1 or more. Next slide. And in addition to that, we're also recognizing our District Award of Merit recipients. It's a great opportunity, and also the Eagle Scouts of the last year. So it's a great time to have good food, camaraderie, tons of war stories. It's a fun time. It really is. And then part of the district dinner is the Unit Volunteer of the Year. Hopefully your unit has identified. It doesn't have to necessarily be a leader who wears a brown shirt. It could be just someone that's always there. It's the guy who always has the trailer, who's willing to bring that trailer out and help you get stuff from A to B. And you couldn't do without it. That's the Volunteer of the Year. You can nominate as many as you want. It's up to your unit to decide what it means to you for Unit Volunteer of the Year. Recommendation by us is, hey, if you're going to truly nominate them, they're going to get a little certificate, certificate to make scouting go around. But why not buy their dinner too? Show them how, hey, it's a small expense. Hey, why not? We want to buy dinner on us and recognize for all you do. It's important to make that kind of thing. Don't forget, sort of in the same vein, to thank your volunteers in your PAC meetings. Do it in front of the boys. One, it teaches the boys it's always important to thank people who help you, no matter how small or trivial the activity may seem. And number two, the boys love seeing their parents up there, either being, a little uncomfortable being up front, but they love seeing them being thanked too. That makes them proud because that's my mom and dad that did that. Give them that opportunity, that kind of pride. So make sure you make a point of recognizing all the assistants, no matter how trivial. Journey to Excellence. We're on the back end now. Hopefully everyone is using the Journey to Excellence forms to fill out. They will be turned in with your recharter. Recharter, if you can believe this, is 2 months away. Doesn't that make your stomach hurt? Yep. Makes my stomach hurt. My favorite part of the year. Make sure you look at this. The Journey to Excellence is a good way to measure how's your pack doing. Are we okay? What do we got going on? Is there something we're forgetting? Because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's real easy to forget one aspect of progress. Powwow. Powwow is coming up in November. Sign up. They haven't quite done an online sign up yet, but put it on your calendar. Block it off. Don't put anything else on that date. You need to go. 600 to 700 Cub Scout leaders will be there from all over NCAC. Last time I saw, I think there's 70 classes, 60 or 70 classes that are being offered. Grand total, pretty much anything from nuts to bolts about Cub Scouting. Tons of fun. You will come away with lots of applicable action items from it of what you can do the next day with your units. Plus you get to meet incredible trainers like Bill Mayo here, who you don't even realize you're learning, but he gives you such an amazing sense of, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I see how this connects. Those aha moments. Tons of them. Make sure you go. Very inexpensive, lots of fun, one day, invaluable. District Award of Merit. Okay, so we're getting ready to award the District Award of Merit in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how long that is now, how long. But it's time to start for this year's crop. If there's someone that you believe should be recognized for these kind of things, applications are being accepted now. Matter of fact, the District Award of Merit applications are coming, deadline's coming up pretty fast and furious, and so is the Silver Beaver. The District Award of Merit is a District Award level item. It typically has to do with folks who have been providing exemplary service to not only their unit but the district. However, I have seen some that have been exemplary units. If in doubt, nominate that person. You know people who've been doing an amazing thing. Get them in there. Make sure we recognize them. The bigger, larger our crop is, the better candidates we can present. And our district is allowed by the number of units, 5 or 6 usually. So it's great to have as many good candidates as possible to find the best of the best. And here we go. Let us recognize them.
We're allowed 8, and we're recognizing 3 for this year.
This year, that's right. Yep. Find somebody. There are tons of great volunteers who suffer in silence. They do great things. Recognize them. So, any information on that, go to goosecreekdistrict.org. I know that you have put on the splash page an area to go to for the application, and even some information on what's typically should be part of the application and what the candidate's qualification should be. Great place. District needs help. Always needs help. I always put this up because, once again, it's all about looking for additional leaders and additional 1 hours a week. Doesn't necessarily mean you put on silver tabs and go out there for 6 or 7 years or however long I've been doing this. But it does mean going out and helping a little bit here and there. Our district is moving a little bit different to a little bit different culture in the fact that it will not be as many district events. We're looking for more units to sponsor events and provide the horsepower behind it, to be the coordinators, the facilitators, to put their own flavor on it, their own energy on it, because that way we have a new, fresh event going on all the time. Definitely going out to all the troops saying, troops, we want you to start sponsoring things, whether it be the Cub Scout Pinewood Derby or the Cub Mobile or such. But PACs can do so too. It can be an opportunity for the boys to see what it's truly like to serve others and truthfully, have a great time doing it. So these opportunities are there. Start changing the culture in your units to start thinking it's not what the district is going to just create events. We're looking for units to help come in there and be part of creating these events. That's the right thing to do. Make sure you keep up with all your awards. These knots have been transitioned over to a different brand of knot. They're slightly different. These are still available at the store, so can still be awarded for a short more period of time, but they're moving over to more of the green and white type knots with different devices on them. They're still valuable. You still should recognize your units and your leaders because they're still doing an amazing job, no matter what the color of the knot. Let's recognize them, give them something, because you know what? They do a lot of work. So also keep up with paperwork on yourself. There's nothing wrong with keeping your own paperwork. Okay. Wood badge. The fall wood badge course just finished up its first weekend, and I heard from several people they had a great time. Great. Second weekend's about 5 or 6 weeks from now. The spring course is accepting applications now. Wood badge is for any leader that is fully trained in their position. For a Cub Scout, that's pretty easy. All of it's online. There's really no excuse for that being the thing that holds you back. This is a particular course that allows you to go out to learn leadership and training skills in a volunteer environment. Scouting is used as the vehicle that we all understand, but it ultimately is teaching you tools that are applicable across your entire life, whether it be your work, your home, other volunteer organizations, or scouting. It has been compared to a mountaintop experience. It truly does. I don't know of anyone who has come out of a wood badge who does not come out going, that was incredible, impressive, and I've got things I can use now. I use them all the time. I know several other have, we've talked about using them in their work, and it has made such a difference in the way they approach life in general, and how they actually train others, and how they deal with them. It's a great opportunity. It's $250 for 2 3-day weekends. Is for anyone who wants more information. If you see anyone with beads like I have on right here, or a taupe neckerchief like Greg has on there, or a tartan like we have right here, any of these kind are the symbols of someone who's either been a participant or completed their ticket for wood badge. They will talk to you about wood badge until your ears bleed, because we love it that much and we had such a good time. I recommend it for everyone, no matter what. It's not just for people who've been 20 years in Scout. Start, stop, and continue. Make sure you're doing your units. You don't know where you've been, how you're doing, unless you actually stop for a moment and go, hey, how are we doing? Should we stop doing this? Should we start doing this? I also want the same thing for here. I may not actually call it out in the grand scheme for the Roundtable, but I have my parking lot over there. If there's something you want us to start doing, stop doing, continue doing, or more information, put it on an index card, put it right here. If it's something that I can include in my next meeting, I will. Because it gives me that, you guys are my feedback, and I want to make sure I'm meeting your needs. But make sure you're also doing start, stop, and continue with your units. I even tried it with my boys. We realized it worked pretty well. Before that, it was hard. It was really difficult. But we realized they were getting it. And they were like, well, we'd like to do more of this, but this was good, and we shouldn't do this anymore. Okay. And they are now have ownership of what the program is running, which is good, because as they move to Boy Scouts, they're running the program. It's great. It's a good primer. Parking lot, anything you need. I love people come up and ask me questions and stuff, but truthfully, I'm suffering from some type of Halfheimers these days. My vocabulary is down to about 300 words, and I can't seem to remember how to find my way home most days. If you can write stuff on a card, I'll make sure that, oh yeah, I take care of that. Even if you tell me something, it's probably best to put it down on a card as well, because otherwise I may or may not be able to remember it, and I apologize up front for that. Upcoming dates, I've already hit all these things. The Scouting for Food distribution is November 3rd. Don't forget the training that Stacey was talking about. We'll have more information probably on the Goose Creek District website as well. Very important. Scouting for Food makes a huge impact in this community. 110,000 plus pounds of food each year. Huge impact. And it's because of the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and all the volunteers. All right. Responsibility. I'll make this nice and short and sweet. So my oldest son is in middle school now. He's a 6th grader. Went to the family open house You know, the kids are not supposed to go, it's just supposed to be the parent wandering around and see, how's it gonna be? What's gonna happen? Now, elementary school to middle school, when I was a kid, that wasn't that big of a deal. At least it didn't seem that big of a deal. But I tell you what, as a parent, oh my goodness, it was a big deal. I mean, it was like, you know, from elementary school to middle school was like the drastically different aspects. It was almost like a mini college. And I was walking around the whole time going, my son is going to die here. He really is. We barely squeaked out of 5th grade. He's a smart boy, but I tell you what, sometimes he just does not want to apply himself. Typical parent, yeah. And his work ethic leaves a lot to be desired, and there's a lot of crocodile tears when we're doing homework, and I'm like, oh, please, 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 this has got to get better. There's got to be a switch somewhere. And I talked to other parents, you've got to have the secret. I know you do. Give it to me. You know, how can I get past this? And as I'm walking around, and I'm talking to all these teachers, and they're telling me all these things. And oh, we don't even use textbooks. We're building our own textbooks. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm seeing my son wandering in the hallway, I don't know what I'm doing. This is the vision I have. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be the worst year of my life. And then I talk to his teachers like, oh, you're Robert's dad. Yeah. Okay. That was a horrible response, but that was the thought, oh, here we go. I'm like, this should be good. They're like, you know what? He is an incredibly hardworking young man. And I even said, Brian Kale. And they say, yeah, Robert Kale, red hair. I'm like, yeah. Like, he does incredible work. Really? I'm like, yeah. And you know what? I've seen him do incredible work. It's never when I'm leading him. It's never when my wife's leading him. But I have seen him do incredible work. And that's one of the reasons his Boy Scout troop, I am not stepped into the leadership because I like the boy he is when I'm not his leader. And it comes because I know that he realizes this is not mom and dad. They've given me a responsibility and I better follow through on it. For some reason or other in his head, the responsibility mom and dad gives him is like a do-over or a mulligan or you're just kidding type thing, I guess is what he thinks. But when it comes down to school, to teachers, to other leaders, to other adults, he shows an amazing amount of responsibility. You are those folks in these other boys' lives. When these boys, and you have given them responsibility, their parent may go, yeah, good luck with that. That's, you're dreaming. There are boys in my pack I've had that the parents are like, yeah, good luck with him. I'm just glad to get rid of him an hour a day, or an hour at this meeting. And they're running around, and all I have to go is, hey, and they'll look at me for a second, yes, sir. And the parents will be like, sir. And they're like, I need you to do this. We'll do it. And they're looking at me like, what did you do? I don't know what I did. But that's the kind of influence that we have on the boys. Use it for good. With great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man. Seriously, these boys are looking to you for how you model, and by giving them the responsibility and the trust, you are building them into incredible men. They may give their parents the worst, horrible day of their life. I know my sons do, and probably your sons do too. Mainly because they know your buttons and they're pushing them all day long. But it's because you're too close and you're looking at one little aspect, one little flaw, and not the big picture of what great boys they are. Give them that opportunity. That's what scouting is about. Facebook, like us, love us, click on us. They were up to almost 200 people on the Goose Creek site. Come on! And almost 100 in the Cub Scout Roundtable. That's sad. Let's go to triple digits. Come on. I try to put as much information there as possible. If you guys have anything about what you're doing, your units or anything like that, feel free to post. It's wide open. I do moderate it just in case anything shows up that's inappropriate. It gets killed as soon as I can. But that's the way to communicate around our district. It's a great opportunity to share, hey, this worked for us, this didn't work for us, we got this event coming up, come join us. It's a great opportunity. And then lastly, next roundtable, second Wednesday, October 10th. It's crazy. And Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas. Makes you twitch, doesn't it? Thank you all so much for spending an hour and a half with me here. It means a lot to me, and it's incredibly valuable to me that you believe that it's worthwhile coming. Thank you for all you do for our boys. and I look forward to hearing incredible success stories from Joint Scouting Night. Remember, be energetic, and make sure these boys realize adventure awaits, and we've got it for them. Thank you so much. If you can do me a favor, I'll clean the chairs up. I appreciate it. Yes.